So today we're going to talk about self-awareness without condemnation. Just like a disclaimer, this is something that I have not conquered yet. I've done better and I'm working on it, and I want to just give you some tips that has helped me along with that. What was that? Somebody's in the driveway. Okay. Some big branches. Wow. All right. So for me, usually when I have to like fix something or something has to be corrected or adjusted, sometimes I'll go within deeply and I'll feel that nothing is going right. It's not true, but sometimes that's how I feel. Now, I'll tell you what made me start realizing that this was happening and how I just needed a solution. I went into prayer and I asked God, like, God, how come like when I start evaluating myself, I look inwardly and I start getting like either depressed or stressed or just feeling like I've made no progress. My wife and I was talking recently and she reminded me of how much progress I did make. She also reminded me that sometimes when I'm in this self-awareness journey, sometimes I can get really, really sad. I don't lash out or things like that, but I can get really, really sad, which isn't cool. So I'm getting ready to do my studying and I'm praying to God about that. And I'm like, let me just start writing down what I think that He is revealing to me, and just look on the internet. And I was asking the question, how can you be self-aware without condemnation? How could you be self-aware without condemnation? Now, the first thing to do is recognize that you can be looking within or being self-aware in a way that it's curious, not that it's condemning. So number one, when you're finding out things about yourself, when you're looking within, become curious about what's happening. Become curious on how you even arrived at that answer. As I started to realize that I needed to become curious, I started realizing also that I wasn't always affirmed when I was younger. I didn't have a bad childhood, but I wasn't affirmed in a lot of things. Because I wasn't affirmed, it also made it hard for me to do things and not feel that if I wasn't good at them, I was just gonna be like scolded or cast away. That they weren't throwing me away. That's not what was happening. Karen Dweckly has a book called Growth Mindset. I read it years ago. It's so good. Growth Mindset. There's a fixed mindset that means I cannot do anything that I'm not good at. A growth mindset says I can work hard at this and I can get good at this. With self-awareness, you gotta go into the category of the growth mindset. I can look at this problem, I can become curious, I can look at how I handle things and I can become curious, but I don't have to condemn myself. It's easier said than done. So being curious is number one. Number two is something that didn't alarm me until this morning. My self-worth isn't in something that I've done. It isn't even in something that I'm doing. I'm worthy as a person if I didn't do anything, or things that I have accomplished. I'm worthy as a person. That's important because on a self-awareness journey and self-improvement, if you look at it in the eyes of like social media, you're only good based on how much you can put out. You're only good if you get 10,000 followers in 1 week. You're only good if you're making 10K your first 2 weeks of having a business. But that's not real life. So accepting today, I had to accept today that the things that I'm working through and learning and processing, that is a part of me, but that's not me. That's not who I am in its entirety. Entirety. That was really, really hard, but it was helpful to see that and realize I'm still valuable. No matter what I'm working through, no matter what I'm processing, no matter what I'm not good at, I'm still valuable. The third one was reflective journaling. Now, I journal every day, but I usually don't journal being curious. I usually don't journal with the thought that my identity is not wrapped up in what I'm working on, what I've done, what I haven't completed. I usually don't journal like that, but that was a thing that helped me out this morning. That's something you can do as well. And then the last one, the fourth one, is, inviting God on the self-awareness journey. God, where do you see that you want me to fix? But what do you see in me that's good? The Bible talks about us being fearfully and wonderfully made in his image. The Bible talks about there is therefore now no condemnation to them that are in Christ Jesus. So instead of going into this sunken place or into this place of just condemnation and despair, I'm working on those 4 things. I'm sharing this with you because I know as a man, I know as a father, a husband, sometimes we can feel forgotten. Sometimes we can feel that no one's listening, and sometimes we can feel that what we're going through doesn't even matter, but it does. So on your self-awareness journey, I want you to anchor yourself in grace, anchor yourself in love, because things grow better when it's anchored in grace and love, right? Flowers grow when they get sun and water. That's grace and love. You'll be better, you'll feel better, and you'll produce more. But even without those, you'll just be a better person. I love you guys. I hope you guys do this. Let me know in the comments. Are you going to try to give yourself more grace and love? Are you going to do these things, or are you going to just look at this video and bypass it? Share this with a friend, guys. I'm out of here. Be great.